Hey mommies, how are you? I hope everyone is having an amazing day. So I just wanted to talk today about particularly about like partners, spouses, other halves, and also maybe people that are very close to you, like your mom or other family members, that maybe you find that Isaac is playing with this my plastic chain. That you find that they're not very supportive of you breastfeeding. Maybe during pregnancy you started to see that they weren't really like supportive of you or supportive of your decision to breastfeed, or they couldn't understand why you just wouldn't formula feed or bottle feed. So it can start to cause like some tension, and especially in a new mom or any type of mom really, support particularly from your partner is like so important. It really can make or break your breastfeeding journey. So basically I found that it's really important for you to communicate well with your partner, to talk about it first. So if breastfeeding is something that you definitely want to do, and it's something you want to move forward with, obviously it's your body, it's really your decision. So the best thing to do is kind of like start talking with your spouse about it first. And then what I definitely recommend is that you start to involve them in breastfeeding even before you start to breastfeed your own baby. So what does that mean? That means basically making sure you take them to like a breastfeeding class, maybe at your local hospital or the hospital where you're going to have your baby. Maybe schedule a consultation with a lactation consultant or with an IBCLC. And then that way your husband or your partner or spouse will start to understand a little bit more about what breastfeeding is and what it involves, and how it benefits your child or their child, and how their child is going to thrive and grow from it, and the connection that it's going to provide for you and the child. So basically so that they start to understand more about breastfeeding. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of times men have a difficulty with breastfeeding because of the breast part, okay? So the sexual part that they see with breastfeeding. So usually they have a problem with you breastfeeding in public, or if you have family members around and you start to breastfeed, that's when the problems usually start. They feel intimidated or they feel embarrassed. So that's how it starts to come about. And I tell you this from my own personal experience. My husband was like super supportive of me breastfeeding, but he wasn't really involved in breastfeeding until I actually started to encounter problems and I really needed his support. So it's really important that you involve your partner first. And I say this, a lot of men, for example, they believe, like when you say, oh, let's go to a breastfeeding class, they're like, oh no, that's a girl thing. Or that's your department. Or, you know, that's fine, you'll be able to handle it. You know, you go by yourself, it's fine. It should be something that you do together as a couple. A breastfeeding journey is as much your journey as it is their journey too, because it's such an emotional journey that you'll see that you'll both go through it together, just like pregnancy really, and just like labor. It's something that you have to do together as a team also, and you'll find that you need their support so much. So if they begin to understand why breastfeeding is so important, they're going to be more supportive of you. And also when you're out in public and stuff like that, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Whip that boob out. Baby needs, you know, needs some milk, you know, and they're going to be a lot more supportive. And that's the experience that I had too. I would get kind of annoyed at first, like when my husband would be like, oh, the baby's pulling the cover, you know, make sure you get covered up properly. So I would get really kind of like annoyed with that at first. But then as time progressed and he began to understand how important breastfeeding was, and I really got the message across to him, and he read about it as well and he understood about it, now he's just like completely normal. I could be like completely like at the beach with my whole breast exposed and he's completely fine with it, and he understands it and he encourages it. And I think if anybody ever said anything to anybody that was breastfeeding in public, I think he would be the first one to like tell them off, like because he's such an advocate now. And it's really important. So I just wanted to mention that. The same with any other family member, your mom, your dad, anybody there that is not really supportive of your breastfeeding. Make sure that you involve them as much, and then if they understand why it's important to you, the reasons why you're doing it, that's key. So communication there is really key to making them feel comfortable. And I think if they understand the benefits and if they learn what breastfeeding is, what it's about, the connection too, because another thing that can happen is when they start saying, you know, oh, the baby's just using you as a pacifier, the baby's always on the boob, you know, and also a little bit of jealousy can come through because the baby's always with you, the baby's always on the boob maybe used to be theirs. So that also comes to mind. So make sure you address all those breastfeeding issues first so they understand how important it is, and they're going to be a lot more supportive of it, and it's going to cause less frustrations for you because it's so uncomfortable when you see them pulling faces and you're like trying to breastfeed, you know. So it's and like I said, it can really make a big difference on how successful or how long your breastfeeding journey is, and for you to reach those breastfeeding goals. So make sure you talk with your other half as much as you can, and family members too, you know, everybody that's involved or close to you and around you. So start talking about breastfeeding early into your pregnancy, and even if you've had your baby, it's not too late. You know, share books with them, articles, take them to breastfeeding support groups so that they see that millions of other moms do it and that it's completely normal. And if there are support groups that meet out in public, then even better. He will see other moms breastfeeding in public, and they will start to understand that it's very normal and very natural and very cool, and that it's an amazing thing that you're actually doing for your baby, and they should appreciate you for it and support you for it. So I just wanted to share that with you moms, because it was my experience, and it was a little bit difficult at first, but we got through it. And now it's an amazing thing, and I feel that it's both of our journey rather than just my journey. And it's so cool. In fact, not so long ago, my husband actually said to me something that was amazing. He said to me when we were just in bed and we were just there talking, and Isaac was breastfeeding, and he was like, you know what, I feel sorry for all those dads that their babies like have to take formula or they have to bottle feed, because just watching you nurse the baby, I can see how calm the baby is and how you just mean the world to him right now when he's just at your breast, that I feel like privileged to be able to experience that and that to see you do it. So it was a really, really awesome thing for him to say that. It totally made my day. And I think it was possible because of all the communication that we had, and because I was able to really make him understand what breastfeeding is and what an amazing thing it is for our babies and for our family. So I wish you luck with that, and I hope that that's able to help you resolve through your problems and stuff with breastfeeding and any frustrations that you're having with unsupportive family members, and hopefully they will start supporting you soon, because you should be supported. It's an amazing thing that you're doing and that your body's doing for your baby. Bye, mommies.